rough around the edges. But you seem clever. Hopefully we can make this work.
I think we should be able to. Yeah. I mean, I think amongst all of us, we should be fine.
Let's make it work.
We'll make it work.
Have you had these magic abilities your whole life like a kid?
No. Again, fairly recently.
Something happened?
How about that? You know, every once in a while, OBS likes to forget which microphone is the microphone. Because I change my setup so often, you know. It's very different every time I do this. So why wouldn't OBS forget the same program settings that I use every time? Every single time. For like, you know, years. Coffee. Danny has entered the chat. I am doing well today, Lauren. Thank you. Oh, God, I'm just behind on everything these days. But you know, we've got a pretty cool book coming along here. Oh, that's awesome, Lauren. I love Hillary so much. Which one was neat stuff? That was the one with the guy in the bear costume, right? Hey, morning, Lady. Blah, my mouth didn't work. Morning, Lady Temeraire. That was a fun one. There's some really good shit in the last couple of episodes, Lauren. Can't wait for you to watch. Oh, yeah, I totally understand that, Lauren. Yeah, a lot of the time I just play, like when I'm watching Critical Role or whatever, I just kind of play it in the background while I'm doing other stuff. Because I can't sit there and watch it for 3 or 4 hours, you know? Not with everything I've got going on. Yeah, Danny. Yeah, totally, Lauren. Yeah, throw kids into that mix. Yeah, I just listened to it like a podcast, Lady Timur. In fact, that's my friend Jesse and the Dungeon Master of Natural 20 Proof. That's how he's finally been able to get into Critical Role. Just listening to the podcast. When he's driving, when he's, working out, when he's doing whatever. And just, 5-10 minute chunks at a time. You get a lot of story in those brief periods. Yeah, nobody's a fun character. We had a great moment in Sunday's game. Hillary finally got to tell him something she's been meaning to tell him for a while. Yeah, I mean, at that point, Danny, what I would do was not entirely in my own control. I felt really bad about having to duck out, though. We went a lot longer than we normally do, and I had to go do a family thing. He is hipster Legolas. Oh, he'd look great with braids in his hair. That sort of like Viking side braid thing going back. No, you don't want Legolas as the dungeon master. I'll tell you who you want as the dungeon master. You want Merry and or Pippin. Preferably Merry. You want Merry as the dungeon master, and you want Pippin as the fuckhead player. Who the whole rest of the party is like, oh god, here he goes again. Welcome to the breakdown. Welcome to the end of the road. To the breakdown. We've got nowhere else to go. Very simple, Lauren. Come on like a nice trip over here to Oregon, and come to the Mead Hall. And Jesse and I will get you absolutely hammered on mead. No, Jesse will talk about mead. That boy can talk about mead forever, and it is fascinating. I don't know shit about mead. I gotta use the restroom real quick and refresh my coffee, so I'm gonna step away for just a minute and also say hello to my wife. So bear with me for a moment. I will be right back.
My potential. What are you asking of me? What would you have me learn? I don't understand. Reward for this. I'm listening. Can I confide in you for something?
Oh, yes, please.
I'm a little unnerved about this sword. Would you stand watch for a second?
It seems like a bad idea, sure.
Nothing like this. I've never seen anything like this eye before. Only in that dream where Vander was holding it. He pushed it in his chest, but this is smaller. This sword just seems to take in things.
talk about or don't remember properly, I think.
Eldridge fire! Magic's new to me. This sword is new to me. I didn't have most of this all of my life. All I had was my words to get out of situations, to try and heal conflict, to try and outsmart somebody. And now all of a sudden I have this power and I feel like it's a shortcut and I've been cheating myself. Eldridge fire! Leave no trace.
No, I'm taking this.
Put it back or
I'm
I'll
taking this. Isn't worth my time. I'm taking this.
down.
Ford, put that fucking thing down.
I will fucking leave both of you here. We're either a team or you're working for yourselves. Decide.
as the sleep takes you, and the darkness of your dream state alleviates you the stress of the day, your aching muscles turning numb, your physical form and consciousness now removed and aimless.
Woo! Whiz, bang!
Okay. Erica, good morning. I saw you tweeting about that, Erica. That's super awesome. That's really great, Erica. Hell yeah, Erica. I mean, part of it is just practice, Lauren. But on the other hand, you know, the most overthinkiness and the most like two in my head I've ever gotten about a book was Hellskin, right? Like I just worked that book and worked that book and worked that book until finally I was like, oh my God, Garrett, you haven't published a book in 2 years. Like, get over your fucking self and put your book out. Just like, you know, repeating the mantra to yourself that a done book is better. You know, any done book is better than an undone book. And just maybe like force yourself. Develop some exercises that work for you. Like free write for 100 words. Take a scene that you've been wondering about and just like put it down in first draft. I don't know. You got to get past that though, because if you never finish your book, then your book sucks. If you never finish a book, then your book, if you never finish your book, then it is a worse book than Snooki's biography. Like, adopt that attitude. If you never finish your book, then it is a worse book than 50 Shades of Grey. Hey, here's the thing. Chuck Tingle is actually a legitimately good writer. I mean, he even says in the snowflake method, like, the point is not to get each step of the outlining process perfect. It's just to work the story around in your head. And if you're too fixated on one part of the story while you're snowflaking it or outlining it by whatever method, then you're not getting the product that you're supposed to get out of it, you know? Yeah, totally. And you have to realize that, like, it's okay to put down a shitty outline for a scene, just like it's okay to put down a shitty first draft for a chapter. You can fix the outline later, but if you spend forever on it, then you're never going to outline the next scene, and that's not achieving what you're trying to achieve. Yeah, it's a good point, Erica. Sure. I understand that completely, Lauren. I mean, you might give yourself an ultimatum as well. Like, tell yourself that, snowflake your individual scenes maybe. And give yourself a time limit. Like, okay, in the next I have five. Take one scene, and be like, okay, I have 5 minutes to summarize this scene in one sentence. Set a 5-minute timer. Timer's up. Okay, whatever I've got, that's it. Now I have 10 minutes to expand one sentence into 4 sentences, and then set a 10-minute timer. And after 10 minutes, that's it. You're done. Move on to the next step. All right, now I have 15 minutes to turn this, I have half an hour to turn these 4 sentences into 1 page. Set a half-hour timer, and after that, I'm done with this scene. Move on. That's it. Give yourself a really hard ultimatum, and just be like, now I'm on the next scene. Good. I have 5 minutes to write to summarize this whole scene in 1 sentence. Good. Now I have whatever I said. Tough noogies. If your brain keeps telling you that you have more and more questions about what it is and why it is this way, and what's the answer to this question, everything like that, treat your brain like one of your readers. Sorry, you don't get all the answers. You get a book. Yeah, exactly, Erica. Yeah, if that works for you, Lauren. I'm also of the opinion that, a chapter is as long as it needs to be. But if you're talking about outlining one chapter a writing session, sure. Yeah, absolutely. And if you can get a writing session in per day, then boom, you've got a done outline in a month, Yeah, exactly, Erica. It's like, uh, if somebody's been working on a book for 10 years, then the unfortunate truth is that at some point during that 10 years, their book was probably better than it is right now. Because there is definitely such a thing as overworking a book. And so, that book was probably better, 4 or 5 years ago than it is right now. It was, if we're being honest, it was probably better about 9.5 years ago than it is right now. Depending, obviously, if somebody, is in a really tough situation or isn't able to write that often, and they can only work an hour or 2 per week, then okay, fine. Your book takes you 10 years. That if you're only putting in an hour or 2 per week, then yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeesh. Oh, Lauren, I mean, I don't know that you need a map of the districts of Tokyo. You know what I mean? And if you do need a map of the districts of Tokyo with some major landmarks, that is honestly, that's about 25 minutes of work. Get a map of Tokyo as it exists right now. Figure out what landmarks are important to your story and put them on the map. You know, I don't think that that's something you should be spending a lot of time on right now. Especially because you're gonna discover stuff in your book that needs to be changed in that, you know? Okay, I get it, but also, like, that sounds really boring. I'm sorry, but that sounds really boring to a reader. It sounds like you're going to be throwing out a ton of names of districts and where these landmarks are and everything like that. And who cares? You know, it's like fantasy when somebody world dumps and it's like, and then the kingdom of Selvin, where this town came from and this thing and da 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 da, and none of it ever matters to the story. It's like, fuck me, why? You know, even Tolkien, for all the names of the places and the things and all the stuff he threw out, he only threw out what the characters were actually seeing, you know? Or something that they were going to interact with. When they're sitting there at Elrond's, you know, house, getting ready to travel south and whatnot, he says they deliberated a long while, and then Gandalf brought Frodo in and was like, we're going to walk down the misty mountains, and we're going to, you know, cross the peaks at Caradhras. And then Aragorn says, what about the mines of Moria? And Gandalf says, no, we're definitely not doing that. And then Boromir says, what about the Gap of Rohan? And Gandalf says, no, we're definitely not doing that. So that's like 3 broad names or broad areas that are brought up, one of which is their current plan, one of which they are going to go to by the end of this book, and the other one which they're going to go to in the next book. So all of those things are important, and it's important to establish an emotional and story-related reason for them. But he doesn't go, we could swing up, north through the old kingdom of Anwar, and, you know, oh, well, we could go this way, and list out the whole path that like, throw all that shit out the window, you know? Sure. But I mean, I'm just saying that if you're sitting obsessing over a map right now, you need to stop. Like, you don't need to lay all that stuff out right now. Figure out the story and then figure out when you need to add something later and then come back to the map. Like, I'm just saying, based off the fact that you told me that, like, I need this map and that's what's taking up all of my time right now, then stop. Oh, yeah, the Bible has some info dumping for sure. And, like, you know, how many of those names are like, and then blah begat blah, and then blah begat blah, and all those names you literally never hear about again. Oh, okay. Well, then that sounds fine. Oh, yeah, that's true, Danny. That's a good one, Lady Tamara. Oh, it's all good, Lauren. All right. Didn't quite get where we wanted to today, but that's all right. We got a couple of days to catch up for our weekly goal. Oh, who are we rating today? Computer. Hey, Mama Samu is live. Mama Samu, an excellent crafter and generally and cosplayer, and generally wonderful all-around internet personality. It looks like they are playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which I have to admit, I have no time for it, but I have to admit, I really, really want to play it. So, maybe one day. In the meantime, go enjoy Mass Effect Legendary Edition vicariously through Mama Samu, who is just a wonderful person. Say hi to her for me. Wish her well. Wish her all of the good and successful alien hunting. And, let's be honest, alien fucking. Thanks everyone for being here. I will try to start stream a little earlier tomorrow so that we can try to catch up on our weekly word goal. And in the meantime, catch you next time. Bye.